are fed 3 times every week.
Yes.
And we're lucky to see that process here that's going to take place in some minutes.
Yes.
Aziz, so tell me, where are they now? What are they doing here right now? What are the lions doing here right now?
So now they are in their confinement. Okay. That is what the process we go through to feed them. Okay. Because they are wild animals, they are not tamed. We always have to be cautious. Okay. So first of all, you have to ensure that we have 4 of them, 1 lion and 3 lioness. Okay. You have to ensure that they are in their confinement. It is locked under key before they try to do any feeding. So what we have done currently is to ensure that all 4 of them are locked in the middle compartment. Okay. So that they don't have access to the left, they don't have access to the right. Okay. Then the feeders can have time to go into the main yard, pick the droppings, and then put the fresh.
So that's a lion roaring.
In fact, it's not roaring now.
It's not?
This is just the sound of the female one. You can hear the lions roar 7 kilometers away. This is not just the roar, this is the female one. Oh. Yes. It's just trying to scare you. This is just the female one trying to scare you. I wish you could hear the male roar. You know, usually in the wild, the females do most of the hunting.
Okay, so this is a female?
Yes. These 3, the first 3 in front are the female ones. Okay. And the male one is the one with the mane at the back, the hair at the back. So this one making the sound, those are all female ones. The only male is the one with the mane at the back. And generally or naturally, lions are highly polygamous. The male one can have between 15 to 20 females.
15 to 20?
Yes, and in terms of sexual intercourse, the lion can mate 50 times a day.
50 times?
Yes. Unfortunately, each mating session is just a few seconds, maybe 15 to 30 seconds, and it's done. So because of that, the male ones have lots of women or female ones around it. Okay. That is the reason why mostly when the lioness give birth to a male cub, the father would deliberately kill it to prevent future competition. Because here is the case, I'm the man, I want to have so many wives around me. If I allow you, my son, to grow, you are going to compete with me over the wives. So it's better I kill you so that you don't grow to be a competitor. That is how the lions behave.
Interesting.
Yes. And we have realized at Royal Cozy Hills that lions generally are very, very calm. They get aggressive mostly for 2 reasons. One, when the lion is hungry, it will attack you for food. Because the lion is strictly carnivorous. Yeah. So if it's hungry, it will attack you for food. The second is when there is danger. The lion will face the danger to protect itself. Yeah. So in order to keep them calm and healthy, we have to ensure that our lions are well fed, and then you give them a reasonable distance. Because they are territorial animals, they always want to defend their territory. So when you get too close, you become an intruder. So we make sure the lions are well fed, and then you give them a reasonable distance, and they will be as calm as any other animal. In fact, lions are generally very lazy. One of the animals that doesn't want to waste its energy, let me put it that way. So for example, if the lion is to attack, before attacking, it is very tactical. It will calculate which prey specifically is going after. And mostly it will go after the weakest prey. Maybe the one that is isolated from the group, or the one that looks smaller or weaker. That is the one that mostly the lions will target. And they will calculate how much energy am I going to use to get this prey. Maybe I'll run 200 meters to get this prey. After 200 meters, no matter how close it is, it will retreat because it doesn't want to really waste its energy. That is why it will calculate and be sure of what is going after before it starts the race or the chase.
Interesting. And you're going to feed them today. You're feeding them today, and you mentioned to us that you feed them 3 times, and you have to use, 3 cattle to feed them?
Yes.
Every week?
You know, as I explained earlier,
meal is a feast for them.
As I explained earlier, in order to keep the lions healthy and calm, you have to ensure they are well fed. And we feed them 3 times in a week. Though they can go 2 weeks without food in the wild, we make sure we feed them 3 times in a week. So Monday today is a feeding day for them. And as you know, they are already aware. They know the feeding days.
This are they?
You know, they know. Dining hall is almost ready for them. Yes.
I mean, thankfully, we are not male for today.
And you know, I think the way the female one is staring at you, see the eyes. Yeah. I think he's saying this guy will be good for breakfast.
Definitely not me. So what? 3 cattle every week?
Yes. Each meal is a full cow. Lions take strictly meat, not necessarily beef or cow, but the readily available one here is the beef or the cow. For beef or cow, once you have the money, it's readily available.
And you're saying what? They don't like leftovers? They like it always fresh?
Yes, lions want their meat fresh, and they don't eat carcass, and they don't also like fatty meat, like fat.
Okay.
So, for example, pork, they don't really like pork because of the fat.
Okay.
And leftovers, they don't want it. They really want it fresh. They don't eat dried meat or smoked meat. They just want it fresh. Yes.
So we want to see the process, how you feed these lions, 4 of them, right?
Yes, sure.
We want to see how you feed these 4 lions, and want to know what the process, is like. So can we start right now?
Okay, so before we start the process, let me just explain to you. We have more than enough space for our animals. So you see, the den is divided into 4 chambers. This is one chamber, this is another, and that is another. So now what we're doing is that they are only enclosed in this particular chamber. They can't go to the next chamber, neither can they go to the next chamber. So now for the guys to do the feeding, we come all the way here.
Okay.
This door goes into the main yard.
Okay, so this is the main yard.
So now we are very sure that the animals are confined. They don't have access to the main yard.
Okay.
So what is going to happen now is that the feeders will go in through here, clean the place, place the meat advantage points.
Okay.
Then once you come over here, you can release this. If we release this, they can have, if I pull this, they can have access to the next chamber.
Okay.
So once they go into the last chamber, there's a pulley system. If you pull this rope, the small door opens, they run into the main yard to pick the feed. So in about just the next minute.
So we're gonna see that.
That is exactly what you are going
Okay, so we'll be seeing that in some minutes. But you've done also everything possible to make sure that they feel at home. So they feel like they're in their natural habitat. Tell us what you've done, in this cage to let them feel like they're in their natural habitat.
We don't want to keep our animals in cages or small cages. We want them to feel as natural as possible. So what we have done is that we have made the place very, very, very spacious. We have deliberately left the logs in there. We have left some trees. We have also made some higher grounds for them to feel as natural as possible. Mostly they like higher grounds, especially for the male to roar. Dusk and dawn, they roar to announce their presence. So that is what we have done. We've left the grasses as natural as possible, the trees, deliberately placed some logs inside there. And more importantly, for the safety of our guests, our tourists, and that of the animals, we make sure that the inner perimeter or the inner fence is electrified. And in case we even miss the national grid, we still have solar backup and we have the battery backup. So we have 3 at a go. And then we have the outer perimeter, which is a safer perimeter for our guests. So now, if we come in here, the
meal is set.
So now the meal is served. The lions have been released into the last chamber. You can see them in here. So finally, now you hear the sound. Yes. So they are in the last chamber now, ready to go out and do the feasting. So if the feeders pull this rope, the lions will run out and pick the feed. So I think you want to see how they will run out to pick the feed. So in your count, we pull. So by your count. By your count, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Okay. See them running out. And they are coming to pick the feed. You see? Okay, the male is not aware there's one left for him. So he's going to come for it. So that is it.
So you have someone who's been monitoring these lions?
Yes, we always make sure that the aggressive animals, aside the electrification of the fence, there is someone stationed there to give us minute-by-minute updates. to study the behavioral pattern of the animals and report to us, so we can keep track of the activities of the animals. Not just the animals, but also the safety of our guests. So every minute they have to record what is happening in terms of the electric fence and also the attitude of the animals. For example, these guys here can tell us that, oh, maybe the male one is not very active. So you monitor it for a while, then you try to understand what the problem is. Or you can say that one is getting too aggressive. It's unusual. Yeah. So we make sure that there's somebody placed at vantage points where you have the aggressive animals. There's always somebody to monitor and update us regularly.
So when you're sick and maybe they have to get an injection or something, they have to be tranquilized before? Because I can imagine giving an injection to a sick lion.
Well, maybe Dr. Agbagba can try it. Yes, but you are very right, These are wild animals. Yeah. They are not tamed. Yeah. So for you to get them out, depending on what the problem is, sometimes you can just give them antibiotics through the drinking water. Okay. But if it becomes necessary, first we use the same method we use in feeding them to separate them. Okay. So for example, if we are targeting the male one, we use the same method to separate the male one, and once it is separated, it is tranquilized. Okay. And then whoever comes here, as you can see me with a live rifle, whoever comes here, be it during the feeding or to separate them or whatever, there must be somebody, an armed guard on standby. But after tranquilizing them, then you can take that animal out. The vets will attend to it and then take it back.
Okay. In wrapping up this conversation, for those who've not had opportunity to see lions, what do you want to tell them? I'm sure they're seeing this on TV and they're like, wow, we want to experience this. What do you want to tell them?
I can assure you that Royal Cozy Hills is the best place to see lions as if they are in their natural habitat. In fact, we have a rare breed of lion known as the white lion. This is the only place you can see it. And imagine the lions eating naturally. Yeah. This is the best place. And I want to emphasize that we take the safety of our guests, our staff, and our animals very, very, very seriously. So we make sure that our guests are protected, our staff are protected, and the animals are protected and respected as well. So for example, we know the lions are territorial. That is why we have given them a reasonable distance. We want to respect them. They are well fed because we want to respect their rights and everything. So this is the best place you come. You are very, very, very safe. Our inner perimeter is electrified, and then the outer is the safer perimeter for tourists. And before you do any tour here, you come with a tour guide. No tour happens without a tour guide. Okay. Yes.
Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Great. So we just had that wonderful experience. Honestly, this is the first time I'm seeing these lions. Lions actually eat carnivorous animals, having a good time in their cage.
Okay, so I've had a wonderful experience. Viewers, like, this is a must see. It's a must watch. You ought to be here. You ought to be here. You ought to be at the Royal Cozy Hills Resort here in Drapa in the Upper West region. And I've had a field day already to watch these the lion and his queens, the lionesses, being fed. You saw videos earlier of them in the cage, just awaiting the meat for them to devour, and how they came running out of the cage just to feed on the meat. It's incredible. And earlier, like what Aziz mentioned, the tour manager over here, he mentioned that these are white lions, which is rare. White lions are quite rare, and we have them right here at the safari of Royal Cozy Hills Resort. It's a must watch. This is the perfect place to be, to spend quality time with family, friends, and loved ones. Earlier, I was saying that you need not spend so much money in, traveling out of the country to a different African country just to have a feel of these beautiful animals in the safari, when you can have them right here in Ghana, specifically in the Upper West region. It's a beautiful sight to see over here. The Lion King and his queens, they are still enjoying their meal, trying their best to devour the meat that has been fed, that has been given to them. Earlier, Aziz was saying that these lions are fed thrice every week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the funny thing is that he said that the lions are always aware of their feeding days. They do know their feeding days. And it was very obvious in the previous video that earlier that we were taking off these lions in the cage, and it's incredible. You don't want to miss out on this great adventure right here at the Royal Cozy Hills Resort. I've had a field day, and I'm excited to be here. I'm ecstatic to be here, to have experienced all this. And so, viewers, if you are not here, you are missing out. If you are planning to go outside of the country to a different African country just to see this, and we are yet to see the tortoise, the alpaca, the antelope, all the rest of the animal. Warthogs actually are here as well. And so we can't wait for you to feel every single part of the safari right here. And mind you, the entire safari is seated on a 350-acre land. This is huge. It's enormous. I mean, just driving through the safari, it's unending, if that's how I should put it. And so just come and have a wonderful experience right here in the Upper West region. And yes, it's not much. It wouldn't be much as compared to how much you would have to spend to go to a neighboring African country to experience a safari. And so, Kojo and Raymond, over to you. Yes, please make sure that you don't go anywhere. There's so much coming your way, okay? Don't tune out. My name is Asiedwa Akumia.
So much. As I said, it's a dream come true. And we urge our brothers out there, whoever that hasn't had the experience with this facility, please, you don't need to travel to South Africa. Just come, join hands with the youths in Jirapa, and I tell you, you have an amazing experience. I'm sure you are enjoying the cool breeze.
Yes, we don't want to leave. That's Martin here, and Martin is disappointed, that the state doesn't seem alive to the opportunities here. But what tends to happen is that where the state doesn't show a presence, organizations like the church sometimes step in to assist in development, and Jirapa is no exception. The church, the Catholic Church, has a wonderful history with the people of Jirapa. Reverend Ben Bacheye, tell us a little bit about the role the Catholic Church is playing in the development of Jirapa.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to throw some light on the impact of the Catholic Church in the development, in fact, of the entire Northwest, as it used to be called, and now the Upper West region.
Yes.
Geographically, the Northwest and Upper West region, they are co-terminus. Our traditional leader, in his remarks here, made it clear that his grandfathers have always welcomed people from different cultural backgrounds. And it's in that spirit that the first chief of Grapa, Na Ghana, welcomed the Catholic missionaries to Jirapa on the 30th of November, 1929.
Wow.
As we talk now, the presence of the Catholic Church here in Jirapa is 94 years old. And Jirapa is the birthplace of Catholicism in the entire Northwest, in the Upper West region. It's from here the Catholic faith started spreading to other parts of the region, and even some communities in present-day Savannah region. You can imagine our situation way back in 1929. No health care. We understand it was in Laura, there was a dispensary, mostly for dressing of wounds. Nothing like any surgery, nothing like any major intervention. And there was nothing about a school in the area. Some of our earlier people who went to school had to foot to Tamale.
Wait. People walked from Jirapa to Tamale to go to school?
Yes, and even beyond Jirapa. Like now, SD Dombo. He walked on foot to Tamale to access school.
Hey, you, wait, oh.
Can you believe those?
Let me work out the distance. Please continue.
Yeah. Or that's where the government school was by then. The Catholic faith was equally in Navrongo. In fact, it started 1906. And they had also opened a school. So if you wanted to access Catholic education from the Northwest, you had to foot to Navrongo to access it. If you wanted to access pure government public education, you had to foot to Tamale. This was the situation in 1929.
If you don't mind, I've just looked it up. Now, if you were to travel through Wa, which is the best road, driving from Jirapa to Tamale will take you 6 hours and 18 minutes.
Right.
That's the shortest journey.
Right.
If you go through any other route like Wogu or Tumu, Tumu is 7 hours 59 minutes, almost 8 hours.
Right.
If you go through Wogu, it's 7 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's driving.
Right.
If you are going on foot, it's 3 days.
Oh, yeah, or even more. Depending on the season.
Yeah.
And if it's a rainy season and you go and you have the tributaries of the White Volta all scattered in that entire east, you could go and the whole place is flooded.
So Dombo,
Yeah.
of the Dankwabuzia
Right.
Dombo tradition,
Right.
walked 3 days
Yeah.
to school.
To school.
Says Obo do now
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
please
other
continue.
colleagues. So you can imagine that situation. And these missionaries, the lead missionary was a Canadian, Reverend Father Remigius McCoy. There was another priest, Father Paquette, and a brother. So these are the brothers, they do more constructional works. So 3 of them, now Ghana welcomed into Jirapa, and that was the environment in which they met themselves. So, no healthcare, no education. And apparently, in terms of education, it was a colonial kind of policy, literally to lessen formal education here so that our people would provide maybe cheap labor in plantations, in the mines, and maybe other construction works, down south. So when the missionaries came, and remember, this is a Canadian and then a Dutch. The other 2 have Dutch background, so they were not British. So now, and we are all coming from pre-First World War situations with that kind of still animosity between French and English.
Yes.
So they came, and this was the situation they met. So apart from learning the local language to be able to communicate a bit, they had to immediately begin to address healthcare, though they had no expertise. So the little malaria tablets they had to prevent themselves, they had to use that on the local people because they just saw a dire need. And education-wise, there was nothing they could do because there was no deliberate policy by the then government to bring education here. It took them 10 years to negotiate with the British authorities to permit a formal school to be opened in Jirapa. It
Why?
took them
Why
10
so
years. And if you read the history, the back and forth letters to the point that Father Remigius McCoy had to go to Britain in order to force the need. Wow. Here in Accra at that time, they said they didn't have the power to grant that.
If the colonial government in Accra.
If they could go and meet the authorities in Britain who have posted them here and they permit, they will be granted. And there's a lot of correspondence about that. So, thank God, 1940, the permission was granted and they opened the school. So you can imagine 10 good years of their presence until the first formal school was opened in 1940. They just could not but help because they saw that education was just the door to accelerate the development of the people. So once they had that opening, they invited another missionary congregation. They were nuns from Italy. They had teachers among them, and they had doctors and nurses also among them. So it was this congregation that this missionary priest handed the education aspects and the healthcare aspects to manage. So the sisters arrived in May 1939, while the negotiation was still going on for a permission to open the school. They had made the sisters to come because they had made a headway and they were sure that in a few months they would be granted permission to start. The health didn't suffer that much. They didn't have to suffer to get permission to treat sick people here. It was rather education. So as soon as school started, and the sisters were equally engaged in the healthcare system, and they started in their own convent, delivering our mothers, saving babies who would have otherwise died. In no time, Tamale was the provincial capital at that time. So the health authorities, through the missionaries, heard about what these nuns were doing. So they came over. And now Ghana had organized the people to build mat huts, roofed with grass, to serve as whatever you call them, wards, or they were not wards as that, but where somebody could be, in private for some treatment to be done. But the quality of the service was what impressed the medical doctor in Tamale who visited for the very first time around 1946. So when he was impressed, under mud houses, under thatched roofs, such care could be given. If they were given a better facility, they could even improve and give better health care. So through the recommendation of that medical officer from Tamale, the missionaries began to negotiate with the government to build a hospital.
Wow, so that's how it started.
That is how it started.
Father, let's fast forward to today and the role the Catholic Church is playing in the community today. Obviously, you are still a catalyst for development. Several institutions are still under your care. But interestingly, you are also contributing to tourism, which is the focus of our conversation today. You have some interesting buildings in this area, am I right?
Yes.
Tell us about them.
Yes. The infrastructure, our church building, where we hold our mass services, and also the presbytery, where the priests live, were actually built by these missionaries with laterite stone. Indeed, this area, this hill where we are, you know, if you came about 15 years ago, it was a series of knolls with these large boulders of granite, not granite, laterite, this brownish kind of stone, laterite stone. It was in abundance on this hill. So the missionaries, when they discovered, used that and trained the local indigenes to use literally axes to shape them into blocks and cut it by hand. Wow. From here, we sit at Royal Cozy to where our mission grounds are. You are talking about 2 to 3 kilometers.
Goodness. All by head.
All by head.
To build these, the residence and
the church itself.
Church itself.
All mobilized by Nangana.
Listen,
because he so welcomed them, though he didn't even know them.
Yeah.
But with the welcome spirits that he had, he did all he could because he didn't even know what these people will do in the area.
Yeah. I bet he's glad he did. And of course, it's yet another reason why you should absolutely come and visit this area. Come and experience the wonderful architecture and, of course, the safari and all the great attractions here.
One thing I want to add is, so just as these missionaries were like the engine kind of development, initiative of development, was a wave of development, you know, at that time. Presently, Royal Cozy Hills Hotel and the Safari is the second wave of development we see in the area. It's the second wave of development that will impact people, both in skill acquisition, like in hotel management, and its related, you know, activities, and also empowering youth with employment. We see this huge facility as a big wave that can really impact the social and economic life of the people. Just as the Catholic Church at the beginning initiated that development, currently, this facility has that huge potential to bring about another wave, another dimension of socioeconomic development in the area. And that is why I would like to continue to thank Mr. Eric Johnson for this huge foresight. Interestingly, we went to class 1 on the same day in Jirapa here.
Wow, you go way back.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Classmates, we both went to school on the same day to start education. So we have been close, since that time till now. And we both happen to come from the community.
Wow.
Yeah.
Two visionaries. I really appreciate your time with us. I wish we had more. But you've already, regaled us with wonderful stories and information that really helps put what is happening here into great perspective. I want to thank you for that, Reverend Father Ben Bacheye, who is a parish priest at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Jirapa, and Martin Yiripare, who is from the Jirapa Municipal Education Office and former chairman of the Jirapa Municipal Youth. Thank you both so much for spending your morning with us. And thank you all who have been tuned in from the very beginning on radio and television to enjoy the amazing things happening here at Jirapa, Dubai. Look, I have a vision that one day very soon, when you're watching CNN and an advert of Ghana comes on, in addition to the images of the St. James Lighthouse and the Cape Coast Castle and Kakum National Park and all the drone shots of the waterfalls and all of that, you will also see Jirapa, Dubai and the safari that is here awaiting your enjoyment. This will become a part of the Ghana story for everybody around the world to come and experience. That's my dream.
For the festivities, there's a wonderful safari experience, Jirapa,
the hippos. So we allow them to feed by themselves naturally. What we have just done is to bait them with food, fruits and vegetables as a bait for them to come out. So mostly when we have guests who particularly want to see hippos out of the water, that is the technique we use. We bait them with fruits and vegetables, then they come out. And let me also add that the hippo can eat about 40 kilograms of food every day. Whoa. Yes. And they weigh between 1,300 to 1,800 kilograms also. And they are the third largest mammals on land after the elephant and the white rhino. And these are semi-aquatic. They are able to live both on land and in water. But cumulatively, out of 24 hours, cumulatively they spend about 16 to 20 hours in the water. With the exception of feeding, almost everything of the hippo is done inside the water. They even mate in the water, they poo inside the water. They even have a mechanism that allows them to sleep inside the water.
And for how long could they possibly sleep in the water?
Oh, several hours. Wow. Several hours. Just that whilst they are not sleeping and inside the water, they will need to come out probably every 5 to 7 minutes. They will just come out with the head and then go back, take a breath, and then go back into the water. Okay. But whilst they are sleeping, that mechanism naturally allows them to sleep whilst in the water. And let me also add that though they spend so much time inside the water, hippos do not swim. They are not able to swim. No, they don't swim. So they walk under the water. And that is why they like clean but stagnant water. You don't find them in oceans and sea. They want lakes, rivers, where the water is a bit calm. And usually they will look for a very shallow part. So that is how the hippos behave. And they also have a lifespan of 40 to 50 years. Okay. And a gestation period of 8 months.
Okay, now let's get to the point before they came out of the water. So they were totally submerged in the water. But upon hearing the sound of the tricycle that the person feeding them, they started rearing out their heads just to, let us know that they can hear the sound of the tricycle approaching, or they can hear that somebody's bringing them food. And it was incredible how they just waited for the person feeding them to throw the food there before they make a move. I know the viewers saw that a little earlier when we were trying to show them how the hippos are fed. What really was the... I just want to understand the reason they had to wait for the person to pour the food before they came closer to the feed.
Just like humans, they also have a sense of judgment. Okay. They know how and when and who feeds them. So we usually would go in there with a tricycle. So each time they hear the sound of the tricycle coming closer to the water, then they know food is ready or somebody's bringing us food. So just like we say, you don't bite the hands that feed you, they will not also attack the one that feeds them regularly. So once they know the person is bringing them food, they wouldn't attack him. Though we are still cautious because hippos are they are very aggressive and highly unpredictable. You can highly predict their behavioral pattern. Okay. And they are very, very aggressive, especially towards humans. That is why, again, we have electrified the entire facility for the hippos. And then we give them a reasonable distance. But you see, once they hear the sound of the tricycle, no matter where they are inside the water and they hear the sound, then they assume somebody's bringing us supplementary food. So that is why they had to wait gently, even though they came out of the water. They waited yes. for the gentleman to carefully place the food, move away, and then they come.
So it's amazing. So if any other person, let's say me, was a part of them, was a part of the people that were bringing in the feed, and I wasn't necessarily the one who was pouring the feed there, would they still have sense that I'm not part of the person bringing the feed in, so they would probably try to attack me?
Depending on your distance from the one doing the feeding. If you are together, maybe two of you on the tricycle coming to feed them, that is still fine. They can still assume these are the people coming to feed. But assuming there's somebody feeding them and there is another person some 100, 200 meters away, you are definitely not part of these people that feed them. You know, I can't tell. These are not animals that are tamed. So it's not as if they know me or they know this person or that kind of thing. But what we are sure is that they know the sound and the tricycle that feeds them. And each time the tricycle comes in, they know you are bringing them food. So they wait patiently for you to do your thing, go, and then they come out to eat. And thankfully, each time the tricycle comes in, the tricycle actually brings them food. So they never come out of the water in vain. each time they come out of the water, there is food for them.
Incredible. Now let's talk about the physical features of the hippos. Yes. I mean, looking at how the sun rays is just on them, their skin looks very shiny, and there's actually a distinct difference between the male and the female. Obviously, you see it in sizes. The male is slightly bigger than the female, and the female is slightly lighter in skin color than the male. What other distinct features are there in relation to the hippos? All
right, so you've just mentioned the very obvious one. The male usually is bigger in size and darker in skin color or complexion. The female is lighter skin, and if you look closely at the female, the face, you see it's as if it has put on some makeups. That's the other gender. And generally, the hippos are very stout with very short legs. That is why they are not able to jump. And they have very wide and very strong jaw bones as well. So those are some of the features of the hippopotamus.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So earlier when they were waiting, or after the food was given to them, right, they were taking very slow paces towards the food. On a regular, what's the pace with which hippos walk? Because they were too slow for my liking.
All right, so you would realize that the gentleman who went inside to feed them, he moved the feeding trough a bit.
Yes.
So they were wondering, this is the original position every day. Why did he move it? So they have to be cautious, taking their steps one after the other to be sure it's not a trap. They are also smart. They have a sense of judgment. This is where you feed us every day. Today, why did you move it?
Yeah.
So they have to be careful. That was why they took very slow steps and pace. But they can actually run a starting speed of about 30 kilometers per hour.
30 kilometers
yes,
per hour.
So don't be deceived by their size. They can really
run.
Oh yeah, they can really run. Yes.
Okay, but at what point in the wildlife would they run? What would they be chasing after? What would they be running from?
Mostly, lot of animals don't prey on them.
Okay.
Because of the tough skin and the aggressive nature and everything. Though lions and other cats prey on them, the inner part of the hippo is softer.
Okay.
So, for example, if the lion is to attack the hippo, it will try to go under it. And if it's a male, maybe grab the balls or something or attack it from inside.
Oh.
Yes. But mostly they will do that when they are rather chasing you or maybe chasing somebody or some other thing. They can really run fast when they feel something unusual. They don't like light and sharp sound, like loud noise and lights. For example, if they were out here in the night and then you point light at them, you can see the speed at which they will run. They will run like 30 kilometers per hour back into the water. No matter where you find them, they run back into the water. And just as they are here, if you just bang something like sharp noise, immediately they will run back into the water. And also when they are about to attack, especially humans, if you get too close to them, they can really chase you of that speed.
Okay. All right, so we are still in the safari part of the Royal Cozy Hills Resort here in the Upper West region, specifically Jirapa, Dubai, and it's been amazing so far over here. We've seen the lions, we've seen the ostrich, we've seen, so we've done the zebras as well. We're yet to do the other animals, and we are just at the territory of the hippopotamus, and they're currently feeding. And so, viewers, what we will tell you is that it's Christmas time, okay? Just come and spend quality time with family, friends, and loved ones right here. But my colleague Maxwell Agbaba has a very interesting tour to take you on, which is the Presidential Villa tour right here at the Royal Cozy Hills Resort. And so just stick and stay and enjoy this very perfect view. And he was led by Flora, and so do enjoy this one.
Hey, Maxwell.
Hi, Flora.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You're welcome.
Thanks so much. I'm glad to be here. So this is the VVIP
this
lounge?
This is the VVIP lounge, yes. This is where we hold VIPs when we have conferences.
Okay.
So this serves as a holding area.
Okay.
We also use it to give them their coffee break or something, just so that they are not mixed with the other people. So important people like yourself.
Oh, I feel flattered. Anyway, so when we're going to the presidential villa now?
Yes.
I've heard a lot about your presidential villa. You're quite different from what I've seen in many parts of Accra.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that on the internet. Your presidential villa on the internet.
Right.
I've also seen it in some magazines, and I was like, wow, this looks like a mini Jubilee House, I should say.
It is. It's really huge, and it's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful space to be. Yes. So one day when you're president, we will host you.
That's true. I really have to be president one day.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go there and then show me what it looks like. Oh, wait. So this is the presidential villa.
I know. This is our pool area.
This is the pool area.
Yes.
Within the presidential villa. Trust me, I've been to a lot of places, but I've never seen anything like this before.
An indoor pool.
Yeah.
As well. We also host events over here. So as you can see, we have some setups done.
Okay.
So if one of our VIPs has like a birthday party or something, we're able to host them. So they don't have to go all the way to the hotels, restaurants, or anything. We do all here. Yes.
Okay. So tell me, it is the presidential villa, right?
Yes.
But I don't have to be a president necessarily, to be here.
For now. For now, all we do are presidents and they are reps. So like ambassadors, as I mentioned earlier, we've hosted a few ambassadors also here. Yes, so presidents, ex-presidents, ambassadors here.
Okay.
Yes. So if you also want to have like another experience of...
I also want to have like...
a similar experience, but like, yes.
That you've
we also have
mentioned.
executive suites out at the hotel space that can... It also has
that is similar to what you have
this kind of vibe, yes.
Yeah, but this is dedicated to presidents, ambassadors, and all of them. And you told me that you've had quite a number of them also visiting here to experience this. I'm sure they've been sharing their experiences with you.
They have. So when they come here, it's like a home away from home. It's away from the traffic and the hustle and bustle of the city life. So you have like a rural life over here, quiet, very serene, very peaceful, but you also have everything that you need, everything that you'll be looking for in a city. You have everything here. Yes.
And I think so far that's the experience that we have. We've had, the experience we've had so far. Here feels like home, away from home, and I think one of the things that's serving as the magnet, attracting a lot of people here. Is your safari as well.
Yes.
Right here in Ghana. I know people who travel to different countries just to have good safaris.
Yes.
Just to see hippos, just to see an African lion, just to see a zebra,
ostriches, alpacas.
And all of that.
Yes.
Here, right at our hotel, I saw some peacocks, moving around, just roaming around.
Mara. We also have some other animals, yes.
Tell me more about the safari ranch that you have here.
Yes, so we have so many species of animals in the space.
Yeah.
The most interesting one that most people want to hear are lions. We have white lions. So many people find that interesting because they haven't seen or even heard about white lions. Yes, we
right
do have.
Here
yes.
at the Royal Cozy Hills
Hotel and
Safari Resort. You have lions here.
Yes. We have 3 white lions. We have 1 male lion and 3 lionesses.
Oh.
Yes, and we have a few cubs that have,
You have zebras.
We have zebras. We have elands. We have nyales, impalas.
Impalas, yes.
Ostriches, alpacas.
Yeah.
And all of so many other animals.
And there's also a man-made lake here. I saw people having a good time on a jet ski, on the boat, on the canoes.
Yes.
I'm like, wow.
Yes. So it's a whole thing. It's a holistic. We want you to experience everything. So if you're into water sports, we want you to experience the water sports. If you're into just nature. We have so many trees, plants, species also here that you can experience, you can see. Yes.
Let's move to the other parts of this presidential villa. In fact, I can see what's happening all around me, but you tell me that this is just a fraction of it. This is just a tip of the iceberg, and there's a lot more to see.
Yeah.
So I want you to lead me to the room so we can have a view of that.
Yes. So over here around the pool, we have 5 rooms.
5 rooms.
Yes, that are meant for the security and some of the assistants that come with.
So that's a room.
Presidents. Yes.
Okay. So when I come out from my room, I can just walk out from my room and then just jump straight into this.
Into the pool. Yes. We also have a gym here. We have a quiet room. So especially Muslims, they want a quiet space to pray. Yes. We also have a room dedicated for that. So there's a quiet room out here. So this is the living area of the presidential
is the living area
yes.
of the presidential villa, right? Indeed, it is presidential. It looks fit for royalty as well.
It's cozy.
Cozy. Yes. So fit for royals, cozy, Royal Cozy Hills Hotel.
Yes, that's where we got our name from.
I like that. I like that. And you have how many minibars here?
Yes, we have 2 minibars.
2 minibars here. And how many ACs can I count you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
We want you to feel cool when you're here.
Yeah.
There's no sweat because
that's why the temperature is definitely right here.
Right.
I like it.
Right.
I like it in here. Yeah.
Yeah, so this serves as the receiving area for people. So technically, this place is the entrance.
Okay, that's the entrance.
Yes, so when we have people, they come in through here.
Okay.
Yes, especially if they come with the helicopter, so they land on the helipad and then they come in through this door and then into the space. Yes, so we receive them here before they go to their various seats.
Wow. It's indeed beautiful, and I like the mini screens, here.
Yes,
because the living area,
wherever you're sitting, you can still watch
have a good view of
without,
the screens. I can count only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's not just a living area where just 2 people can sit. You can have clusters.
Have a whole
like 3 clusters.
Yes. So say the president is here, he can meet all the officials of the area in one space.
And there can be another meeting happening right behind there, still in the living room area, and then another one here. And then obviously there must be some meeting also happening at the mini bar.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we're going to our next location, which is going to be.
Yes, to the suites. We'll take you to the suites. So downstairs we have.
Okay.
Should we stop?
Yeah.
So we're going to the presidential suites.
Okay.
Yes. The main attraction of this area. Yeah.
Okay. So from the living room, one thing I did mention, the living room, I really like the decor. I like the painting in there.
Oh, thank you.
I like everything in there.
We like
white.
And everything. We like white.
You
can see.
Very healing and very therapeutic. So this is another living room.
Yes, this is another living room.
This one is upstairs.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is when if the president doesn't want to go too far, just right from his suite, he can come and have meetings with his close people.
Oh, I see. And by president, you mean any presidents, from any part of the world, right?
Yes.
Okay. I see.
Yes, so we have a board
okay.
area
so
there that you can have a meeting.
Okay.
Yes. If you want it to be formal, yes, you can have formal meetings here or on the couches for informal. There's a dining area. We also have a mini bar. Up here too. And the screens.
Yeah, I see them here too. Beautiful. I love the temperature here too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everywhere is cozy. Cozy.
So we're going to another location now?
Yes. So we're going to the main suites, the presidential suites now.
Okay. But tell me, what are the options, for getting here if I want to come to Royal Cozy Hills Hotel,
Safari,
and Safari Resort? tell me what are the options to get here? I can come by road. I can come
by air.
Okay.
Also, yes. So the Wa Airport works. So you can come. So this is the main suite.
Okay, so it's still
in the presidential villa. Yes,
okay.
but the suite. And this is the kitchen.
This is the kitchen.
Yes,
okay.
there are some of them who come with their own chefs.
Okay.
Yes, they are private chefs.
So they can make use of this.
So they can cook for them over here.
Okay.
We have the dining area in the suite.
Elia, I was asking you about the options if you want to get here.
Flight options.
Yeah.
Have a seat.
The travel options. How do I get here? I know by road, by air.
Yes, by air too.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me by air. If I want to get here by air.
Okay, so you pick a flight to Wa.
Okay.
Yes, and then from Wa to Jirapa is about 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay, by road. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you get to Wa and then you take a bus. We do an airport pickup and drop off.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yes, and we're also able to make your flight reservations for you straight from the hotel. So when you call to make a reservation at the hotel and you want us to book a flight for you, you just add the details and then we'll make the reservation and pick you up from the airport straight to Jirapa.
Oh, I think I will go for that option.
Yes, it's a better option, especially people who feel like it's too far, they're not used to the long journey by road. Yes, you can do by air to Wa and then we'll pick you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can also do by road also.
Yes, you can do by road. Yes. There are a few transport services. There's STC, there's VIP, so many transport services that come all the way here. Yeah, we have straight from Accra to Jirapa buses that come straight from Accra to Jirapa.
Okay. And I'm sure, I mean, in December, when we have a lot of people from the diaspora, coming to Ghana, they call it Dirty December, happening right here in Ghana. And a lot of my friends in the diaspora want to have an experience of the, safari.
Yes.
I'm sure you're really up to the task to give them a beautiful experience.
We are. So the experience starts when we pick you up from the airport. We do, apart from the safari tours that we do some eco tours also. So when we pick you up, we do a few tours in the Wa area and then
the Mushroom Rock?
Yes, the Mushroom Rock is closer to the hotel than to Wa. Okay. But there's the Ancient Mosque, there's the Baobab Tree House, that we do all of those tours. So when you land in the Upper West, you get the whole experience from Wa all the way to Jirapa, and then you do the safari.
Oh, it's a full bouquet.
It is.
Oh, I like that. And wow. So for those outside Ghana, those not within Ghana, if they want further details, I think they can just go to your website, right?
Yes. We have a website, IG.
Okay.
Yes, you can pick all of those details. You can call us.
So RoyalCozyHills.com or something?
Yes, RoyalCozyHills.com. Okay. And then we also have some of them, on all
social media, handles as well. Interesting. Okay. Our presidential villa tour is done.
Yes.
And I don't want to leave. I'll have to be a president first to be able to stay.
Yes, be a president or an ambassador.
An ambassador.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, the excitement continues right here at the Royal Cozy Hills, hotels and safari resorts. Safari resort is very important because indeed, this is where you get to have a better taste or a good taste of safari. If you really want to experience it, I mentioned it earlier, if you want to see zebras, if you want to see lions.
My goodness, what an experience it's been from the Royal Cozy Hills Safari Resort here in Jirapa. They call it Jirapa Dubai, and I think you can see why, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. And please make sure this Christmas you're spending it with family, friends, and loved ones right here at the Royal Cozy Hills Resort. It's been an exciting one, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. If you miss Christmas, don't miss New Year. They've got a special event here for you. But look, we didn't do this alone. You see everybody behind me? These are the superstars that made this live broadcast possible. Couldn't have done it without them. This is the crew. This is the squad, the gang, the professionals who make Joy News and Joy Prime and Joy FM come alive every single day. And listen, on behalf of all of them, I say thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.